Hi everyone, welcome to another Tea with Me Tuesday. I am actually having a cup of tea today. Second cup of tea today, which is unusual for me. I usually have a lot of cups, but I am so exhausted, and I thought if I don't do this video now, I'm never gonna get it done. So I'm kind of in a different place. My craft area is over there. My TV and fireplace is there, and Mom sits over there. Mom's in bed, so I don't know if she's going to get up again or interrupt me, but we shall see. So I'm enjoying this cup of tea. I have been running around like crazy. Mom is exhausted. I'm finding that Mom can't walk around as much as she used to, like say a month or two ago. She gets tired. Now it could be because she's got a heavy coat on and her boots, and we're walking around. But so we went to donate at one of the schools, which was great. And oh my gosh, I think you saw all the boxes. I don't remember what order my videos are in. My dining area, 2/3 of it is gone. So I packed up my car, and I was going to drop everything off at my daughter's, just put it in her garage. She worked last night, so I didn't want to disturb her, but her husband works at home, and I didn't want to disturb him. So I phoned his phone. I mean, he's on a lot of conference calls, and he does a lot of, he's a director, so he does a lot of, things, negotiating, etc. And I didn't want to disturb him. And of course, I don't want to go unexpectedly. I mean, I don't know if he's running around in his underwear. I mean, I don't think he would, but I mean, if he's on conference calls or Zoom or whatever, I'm sure he's dressed, but he could be not wearing his pants. I don't know. Anyway, I didn't want to, burst in. And of course, every time there's a knock at the door opens, the dog barks. Well, I didn't want it to wake up my daughter. And so anyway, I decided to call the school and spoke to the girl and mentioned my daughter and that she had dropped off some stuff earlier with some of the things that I had. And would they be willing to take more, because I had a lot more. And they said, oh yes. So I said, I'll drop it off. So Mom and I packed up the car, the trunk and the back seat, packed it up with lots of goodies for them, and dropped that off. And it felt so good to do that, but they were busy, so she really couldn't talk to me very much, and I couldn't really talk to her about too many things. So I just dropped it off, and I'll let them it'll be like Christmas, going through the boxes to see what's there. So from there, we came home and we had some lunch, and I decided to pack up another third, so I've only got a third left, boxes. I phoned the Boys and Girls Club here in Ottawa, one of the branches that's close to me, that I didn't have to go too far. And I asked them if they would like it, and he said, well, are the wooden pieces sharp, like for little fingers? I said, no, it's all smooth. And what I'll do, I said, I'll pack up my car, and I'll pack up one bag, and I'll bring in a sample of everything so that you can see. So I went there, and I started unpacking the bag of the samples. He loved it. He thought it was wonderful. He was so appreciative. And then when he saw how many boxes I was bringing in and how much stuff, he was just overjoyed, and he was so sweet. So just a sec. Sorry about that. I had to go check on Mom. I thought I heard her walking around in there. So that made my heart I was just, I was just glad and blessed that I could do that for them. You know, I don't know how many supplies they get, or, you know, how, I mean, I know it's a charity, but a lot of it's donations, you know, and so I was so pleased. He was just thrilled. He was a really nice guy. I should have got his name. But anyway, so exhausted, getting those things ready. Um, I videotaped, it's coming up this week. I videotaped samples of what I got, what I had, what was available, all of the things that I had. Because I didn't know if I had shown you, I mean, I showed you a few, but I don't think I showed you everything. And even I looked at the video and I had to edit so much out, and I had to cut it and do, oh, it was a mess, but hopefully you'll forgive me that. But I wanted to show you individual things, and I also wanted to play with them, try them, see what I could do with them, whether I could decoupage them or paint them or use markers. I don't know the porousness of the wood, and what it would absorb and what it, you know, wouldn't, or should I, you know, put a base on it like gesso or something. So anyway, those were all the, you know, things going through my brain. And I thought that would be kind of a fun thing to do just for myself. I mean, not necessarily for YouTube, but would be for YouTube. And so that was, you know, that was a project, and I'm really pleased with donating, and with getting to know places other than the usual, like, or sitting there going, now where could I bring this? Which is, you know, part of the problem with my my packages of random act of kindness or blessing bags or whatever you want to call them. I can't afford to do a lot. So what I have done, they're, you know, they're all bundled up and ready. I'm still not sure whether to bring them somewhere or do like I did last year, which was drive around the city and stop and ask, you know, would you like a little gift? Would you like, you know, some health things, you know, toothpaste, stuff like that. And I think I put $5 in each of them when I was giving them last year. And this year I can't do that. But I do have a bag of quarters, if I'm not mistaken. Do I still have them? That I could put, well, see, they don't always take quarters. Here we take loonies and toonies, and it gets expensive. I was going to say, you know, in the States, you use quarters, I think, for some of your washing machines for doing laundry. In the, you know, the big places, you know, the laundromats, and it was suggested, you know, a little bag full of quarters, you know, a couple of dollars worth of quarters, so they could do a laundry, you know. And I thought of that, but then I thought, oh, you know, that's just one more thing I have to think about. So I'm happy with the way I've packed them up. I'm happy with the way they look. I just have to deliver them. And like I said, I'm caught between, because my daughter-in-law knows a place downtown, but there's so many bags, and, you know, she would be able to carry them all. You know, and I don't want to put her out, you know, for that. And it's really something I should be doing. So I'm kind of sitting on the fence, and it's still early enough. It's just starting to get cold, and it's just starting to snow. Excuse me. So I don't know whether to wait another week. And I know this is a Thanksgiving week for my American friends. So that's neither here nor there for us. But I'm thinking closer to December, which is probably next week. The end of next week, I think, is the first part of December. Maybe gift them out then, I mean, whatever's in there, nothing's going to go bad. So there's nothing in there that's going to go bad for waiting a couple of weeks. So that's one part of what I wanted to talk about today. The other thing I wanted to talk about kind of bugs me. It's frustrating me. I have been trying to get some ideas, looking at some of my old projects, looking at some of the new things that are out there. And some crafters are so talented. But they're buying all of these big fancy dyes, which I can't afford. I mean, I know in the States you guys can get them cheaper, but if I want to buy something from the States, it's the change in the money, and it's more expensive, and it's the shipping, and so on and so forth. So I would love to be able to afford to buy some of these dyes, but would I use it once and then never use it again? Although there were some that I probably would use quite often. But I start to feel inadequate. Is that a good word for it? Doing my crafts, that there are so many talented crafters out there doing beautiful work. Beautiful. I mean, Dina does beautiful work. I mean, but she does some sewing as well. She also, has a lot of tools and a lot of subscribers, and she's working and her husband's working. They probably could afford some of these, fancier things, which is great. I love it, and I love her channel. She is so creative. But I can't even step near that level. Not that I'm not talented. I'm sure if I had all those tools and all of those dyes and all of the papers and a Hobby Lobby in Canada, I would love to have Hobby Lobby come to Canada. I would love it, love it, love it. And I wish I knew somebody who was rich. If I won a lottery, I would do that. I would open a business here, try and get a franchise or whatever they're called here in Canada. I think it would do well, as long as it doesn't do stupid things like our Target tried to do here in Canada. You cannot do that. You cannot come to Canada and expect to up your prices when people won't buy. They'll go to the Dollar Tree. They'll go to Dollarama. They'll go to stores where they can get this, maybe not the same thing, or AliExpress or Amazon, so on, rather than go into a physical store. And that's why it failed. They underestimated the Canadian consumer. I am a Canadian consumer. I am a sort of a crafter. So I think I know that Hobby Lobby would be a success, as long as they did not expect me to overcharge. I mean, anyway, dreaming, blah, 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 blah. I would love to have one here. Anyway, because you guys have such cool stuff, and it's more than just cool stuff. You have, I don't know if you call them dollar spots or if you call them whatever, and you have great sales, and you have, all of these things, which helps your craft when you're doing things. And I have been so frustrated that I cannot afford to go that next level. I cannot afford to go that. I don't make any money on Amazon, on YouTube. I'm lucky if I make $100 every 6 months. That's it. So all the things I buy, all the things that I get, is totally out of my pocket. So for me to go and spend a lot of money on dyes that I may or may not like or may or may not use, or, you know, I kind of try and stay away from that. So anyway, my frustration is that everything is so beautiful and people are making such beautiful things that I don't know where to start. I started thinking about Christmas things. I started thinking about, you know, what I could make that would be the same but different. No. New but different. No. I don't know. Things like hot cocoa packs, to find a different way to create it without having to go out and buy specialty dyes that would create something new, like a mug or a packaging of some kind. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to spend money that I don't have on dyes that I may not use often. And since I'm not doing craft fairs, it would be, you know, it would be silly of me to go that extra. I hope you know what I'm talking about. That was kind of my frustration level this week, why I focused more on the wooden things and donations that I had, and the gifts, the blessing gifts that I'm so grateful for, to be able to share them, that I have. But I wanted to get back into doing some, you know, some craft fair ideas, and doing some maybe gift giving ideas on how to do things different, how to package things different. And every time I turned on YouTube and looked at some of my favorite YouTubers that are so bloody talented, I started feeling not overwhelmed, a little frustrated, a little overwhelmed, and a little inadequate, I guess, you know. And it's hard to go to that next level. It's hard to, you know, and I think I spoke of this, I think it might have been even last year, where there were a couple of YouTube channels that were making trucks and cars and villages and you know, candy store fronts with, you know, slots in it to put, you know, goodies in to send, with shakers, and, you know, and it was like, whoa, you know, I can't enjoy a channel or a video. I can't enjoy a video if I have to have a specialty dye in order to make that product, you know. And that's why I like watching videos where you don't have to always have a dye. If you do, here's how to do it. But if you don't, let's try a different way. There's a couple out there that do that a lot, and I like that a lot, because at least it gives us an opportunity, for those of us who don't have the materials and the dyes, and the Hobby Lobby is where we can get absolutely wonderful things to do our crafts. And you know, I mean, we do have some places in our city, but I don't find that Canada has we don't have the population. First of all, we don't have the population that will do a lot of buying. But and you know, there are crafters out there, but they're doing different types of crafting, and they're doing different types of, you know, craft fairs and things like that, like sewing and knitting and crocheting and wooden things, building, you know, beautiful reindeer and chairs. And yeah, I mean, you know, there is a lot of professional artisans out there. But when it comes to someone like myself, who is just kind of a mediocre crafter that just wants to have fun and share how to do some simple things, I'm having trouble finding something simple. without repeating, things that I've done before. And I thought about doing things I've done before, but trying to improve it or make it more simple or whatever. And I'm just having a little hard time with that. So thanks for listening to my whining. Thanks for... I'm trying not to whine. I'm trying not to complain. But I don't know if any of you feel that way. Let me know in the comments below if you're feeling that pinch, that it's hard to compete. Oh my God, there's some beautiful work out there. Beautiful work. And it's hard to go out and purchase all of these things. It's okay if you have a large channel with a large following and maybe Patreon or a join membership, things like that, where there's monthly money coming in to be able to help you to buy these extras and these machines and these, I've often thought, wouldn't it be great to have, what are those machines called that cut things out for you? You have a pattern and it kind of knows, and you just tell it you want this cut out. I think one's a brother scan and cut. I think that's what it is. It scans the image and then cuts it for you. Oh, I would love that. But how often would I use it? That's another, how often would I use it? And I have to think about those things, and they're expensive. But boy, wouldn't they be fun? There's so many things that Dina was buying, and I was thinking, oh, if I had one of those would be fun. If I had one of those would be fun. I think, I hope I don't have to check on Mom again. I think if I won a lottery and I bought myself a house, I would deck out a craft room with all kinds of gadgets that I could play with and have fun with. But then would I? Would I? I'd probably be too busy traveling or, I don't know, going on a trip or something. But anyway, guys, I didn't want this to be too long. I didn't want it to be whiny, but I was just trying to explain that I love the work that people are doing, but I can't, I can't afford to, and I can't always get the same dyes because they're available only in the States. And if I do order it, I got to exchange the money plus pay for shipping, plus pay for, if there's any import fees. Usually there isn't for some small things like that, but you know what I'm saying. There's all of these extra costs that come into it. And then, if I'm only going to create something on YouTube to show you and not use it to sell things, then it's a waste of money. But I would love it anyway. I would love to be able to do it. But anyway, so that was my frustration here. I think that was the only thing I had written down here. Already. Yeah. I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. And the whole donating thing, that was fun. I enjoyed that so much today. I am going to heat up my tea because it is getting cold because I talk too much. And go have a look at some of my stuff and see what I can come up with. Even just playing around, I don't know, I'm gonna try and just relax and enjoy myself. Play around with some of these wooden items that I'm not used to. I'm thinking of, even using paper to cover some things, and maybe using, Mod Podge or something Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm tired. I am so tired today. But we had a good day. Now I have a couple of bags over there for my daughter-in-law. I asked her if she wanted any more, and she said, "Oh yes, whatever you want to give me, I'll take." So I've got some goodies over there. The only thing that I have a lot of, I got to go downstairs. I've got 2 boxes downstairs. I think one of them is full of the 6x9 wooden scrapbooks. And I would really like to see what I could do with one of those. I mean, you know, I just had some ideas of some of the things I could do with it. It would be a lot of fun. And what's nice is that you can stand it up, just open it a little bit and stand it up, and it could be a nice, visual piece. If you happen to have someone who passed away and you wanted to have a memorial kind of little booklet, scrapbook kind of thing, I think that would be cool. If you had a pet, maybe, I just thought about all of these little things that I could be, throwing together and creating in one of these scrapbooks. Anyway, guys, gotta go. Thanks for joining me again today. Thanks for your continued support. I really appreciate it. I would really appreciate if you would hit that subscribe button if you haven't hit subscribe. And the like button would be really, really nice. I appreciate that as well. And your continued support is definitely a blessing. I'll try and get Mom into some of my videos. I'll try. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me today. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.